Tracy Mostall made several TikTok videos comparing fighting game character costumes to show the difference between male and female characters. And for the most part, her points aren't without merit. And for some reason, her Halo video blew up, going from a range of a few hundred to 1,000 to a new high score of 120.3 thousand. Good job. But her points, having merit, aren't as strong as she is confident. You go, girl. Note, don't be a stereotypical. Don't attack, insult, harass, and or send vitriol her way. If you do, you are at the very least not an ethically or morally good person. Now I'm going to have to break this up into multiple videos because 3 minutes isn't enough time to give counterpoints to all the points that she has made. First of all, she points out in her video that technically Halo isn't a fighting game, but because it has ties to fighting games, she's going to count it. This is her channel, her video, her rules. Now, Halo's ties to fighting games are as follows. 1. Dead or Alive 4, which was released in 2005, showing Spartan 458. And second is Killer Instinct Season 3, released in 2016, that showed the Arbiter. That's it. So I would say it isn't exactly fair to include Halo in a video series comparing character costumes and depictions within fighting games, but since we are here are her points. Now, she has 2 main points. Point 1, Cortana is naked in the majority of her appearances within the franchise, specifically from Halo 1 through 4, and only getting clothes in Halo 5. Point 2, Master Chief is all armored up, as are the rest of the characters, so in order to make this fair, either Master Chief will need to be all sexied up, or Cortana should just get more clothes. Now, parts 2 and 3 will be addressed in the next videos. Tracy Mostall has made several TikTok videos comparing the costumes of fighting game characters to show the difference between the male and female characters, and for the most part, her points aren't without merit. This is part 2 of her Halo video. Now, don't be a stereotypical internet. Don't attack, insult, harass, and or send any vitriol her way. If you do, you are at the very least not an ethically good or moral person. Her second claim is that Cortana is naked throughout Halo 1 through 4 and only got dressed in 5, thus showing inequality of the portrayal compared to other characters in the game, specifically comparing her to the Master Chief, who is all armored up. Now, she shows an OG costume, which was from Halo 4. This is OG Cortana from Halo 1 through 3. This is OG Cortana from the remastered version of Halo 1 through 3. This is her from 4. And this is her from 5. Now, here's the thing. Cortana isn't portrayed naked. What? We can see that she is transparent from Halo 1 through 3, and she's also transparent in the remastered versions too. She is opaque in Halo 4, but that could easily be chalked up to studio choice, quote unquote. And in Halo 5, she has clothes, but that's also because she's the bad guy. So you're going to need some visual cue to show that she's not the same Cortana that we know from Halos 1 through 4. So she's a hologram when we see her. This is Cortana's real body. So I guess Tracy Mostall was right, kind of. Cortana is naked, but instead of clothes, she just needs a case, like a smartphone. Tracy Mostall has made several TikTok videos comparing the costumes of fighting game characters to show the difference between the male and female characters. And for the most part, her points are without merit. This is part 3 in response to her Halo video. Now, don't be a stereotypical internet. Don't attack, insult, harass, and or send any vitriol her way. If you do, you are at the very least not an ethically or morally good person. Tracy Mostall's third point was that the Master Chief is armored up, and thus Cortana should at the very least be covered up some more. And as video 2 of my series established, she's right, kind of. But she further stated that almost all the characters are covered up, and only Cortana be naked in the more human physical sense. And is she right? Well, no. Commander Keyes wore outfits that other commanders wore in that universe, though honestly she could have used more armor, but considering most commanders aren't exactly frontline combatants, this is fair. Marines wear the same armor regardless of sex or gender. Spartans wear the same armor regardless of sex or gender. In fact, from Halo Reach and afterwards, when the option of playing as a female Spartan shows up, it can be very difficult to tell from a quick glance if the player is either male or female. In fact, in Halo Infinite, the latest Halo game, you can't really tell at all. So as far as portrayals of female characters within the game, Halo has done a pretty good job of keeping it fair. In fact, out of all the female characters, only one has been portrayed as the quote-unquote sexy. In conclusion, Tracy Mostall has cherry-picked images that confirmed her bias so that it seems that Halo is just like any other fighting game in terms of female depiction, when in reality, 1, Halo is not a fighting game, and 2, has done a better job in the female depiction department compared to other fighting games. Also, again, a general reminder, don't be a dick in responding to her, okay? It's just not nice. Tracy Mostall made several TikTok videos comparing the costumes of fighting game characters to show the difference between the male and female characters. And for the most part, her points aren't without merit. This is part 4, bonus response to her side note Halo video response. Note, don't be a stereotypical. Don't attack, insult, harass, and or send any vitriol her way. If you do, you're at the very least not an ethically or morally good person. Now, her response to the comments of the within the lore explanation was dismissive, though one can say that not all those who gave that within lore explanation were doing it in good faith or being nice about it either. This is the internet after all, and we all know how toxic it can be. Her response to that critique, and we are saying critique here to give it the best possible Steelman interpretation, is that, well, since Cortana is a fictional character, therefore not real, it is still the responsibility of the creators, the real people, who could have done something different. This isn't a good response, and I'll tell you why. 1, it's dismissive. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that everyone shouldn't like it, and this tone that she has throughout implies just that. 2, if we took that standard of creators should have done better, it is such an arbitrary term that it provides no useful solution. 3, it also implies that this shouldn't be taken seriously, and I'm sure Tracy Mostall would say that she isn't taking this seriously at all and it is for fun. And I will agree with that. But if everyone is taking this too seriously, which it kinda is a fair point, their points don't really matter. But by that logic and viewpoint, her points don't have any merit either. Which brings up the question, why did you, Tracy Mostall, bring it up in the first place if it doesn't matter? Clearly it mattered enough for you to make a TikTok video, and it mattered enough that people commented on it. So the better way to address this should have been a good faith response to a Steelman version of those comments and critiques, instead of this dismissive side video. Especially since it's clear that you cherry-pick your images to support your biased views. You have committed confirmation bias. I am going to conclude again, do not send any vitriol her way. If you do, you are a NN, so don't do that. And I have to say that because yes, this is the internet, and yes, it can be toxic.